Good afternoon and welcome to Gangneung, Korea. The city has returned to its quiet charm and after a hectic but lovely Olympic Games here on the East Coast. The Gwangbade Pavilion is famous for its views of the moon on the 15th of the first lunar month. But there's much else to see this week though as we enter the Gangneung Curling Centre, returning to the Olympic home for the Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2018. For this 10th session in the men's competition, we'll have Japan play Korea, and it's all set up for a spectacular game. My name is Sander Ulvåg, and I'm joined by Rona Howie. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Team just lining up for their introduction, and we'll meet the teams as well. For Korea, at lead we have Lee Dong-hyung. At second is Lee Jung-tae. At third is Jung Byung-chin. And Team Korea will be skipped by Kim So-hyuk. For Japan, we have Shinya Abe at lead. Throwing the second stones for Team Japan is Yasumasa Tanida. At third is Tatsuro Shimizu. And Team Japan is skipped by Yuta Matsumura. Let's have a closer look at Team Korea. Here is Lee Dong-hyung. And on the second stones, Lee Jung-tae. At third, Jung Byung-chin. And of course, the veteran, the skip, Kim So-hyuk. Looking at the standings here, we'll see China at top with 5 wins, no losses. Korea tightly follows at 4 and 1. Japan and New Zealand at 3 and 1. Hong Kong at 2 and 2. While we have Australia, Chinese Taipei and Kazakhstan on 1 win so far. Qatar still to pick up a win in this competition. The other games out there in the Gangneung Curling Centre this afternoon, we'll have Australia play Chinese Taipei. Qatar will take on undefeated China, as well as New Zealand, who will play Hong Kong. I'll keep you up to date on those games as well, but our main focus will lie on the featured game, Japan-Korea. We're quite excited for this one, as we have Shinya Abe throwing the lead stones for Japan. We've been quite used to seeing the Morozumi team represent Japan for many, many years, and it's a bit of a new lineup for Japan. Although they have been playing really well this season, picked up a couple of tournament wins, and coming into this week, I believe, with some confidence. Coming into the rings here, but Korea, as we've seen before, quite eager to throw the corner guard and get something going already in the first end. So Lee Dong-hyung with the outturn, looking to get that corner guard in place. Good to see them get the ball rolling early.
Yeah, definitely. First end, you like to see the corner guards going up and trying to generate some stones in play. They're quite confident that the ice has been running really well all week. They can draw nicely around guards. So quite confident to get it going. They've had a practice before the game, so they're confident of draw weight.
Could it also speak to the ice consistency, that teams are comfortable playing aggressively in the first end?
Yeah, definitely. It's been really good ice all week. Every game's exactly the same speed, same amount of curl, so the players are really confident with it.
We'll see Japan look for a center guard here to cover the shot stone. Does cover the right side of the rock, but shows about half of it on the outside. Forcing Korea to make the hit but roll away from the corner. Lee Dong-hyung is 21 years old, already playing at a very high level. One of 3 young players to be guided by Kim So-hyuk. Still going to overcurl and catch the centre guard, but opens it up.
Good. Yeah, definitely erred on the correct side there and kept the shooter in play.
Yasumasa Tanida. His first stone of this game, looking for that centre guard again. Just a tad heavy perhaps, so just waiting for this one to make its move, but ends up in the top 12. Doesn't curl enough to provide any cover for that shot stone in the 8-foot.
With the ice having this big curl, it's quite a difficult shot this week to play the perfect guard.
Lee Jung-chae. Gonna make a hit on that shot stone, try and roll to the right of our screen here, bring the play in behind the corner guard, but is well high on line and actually rolls out the other way. Big miscue early on from Jung-chae. Even though we see the draws bend and curl quite a bit, Rowan, the hits, they run fairly true, fairly straight.
Yeah, they do. The up weights are just running pretty straight to the brush. Not much curl, so you definitely can't play into out. You're not getting much result and much curl at all.
Let's take a look at the rules of play. It's a 5-stone free guard zone, new for the season. We'll get more into that later, but 6 ends minimum to be played. The game is scheduled for 10. 38 minutes of thinking time per team, and it's a 160-second timeout allowed to be called at some point during the game. 3 reds in the house, but they're all in around the 12-foot circle, so Korea feeling they're not a big threat, so they'll just ignore all of them. Come straight around this corner guard, some big sweep to get it past the corner. Are they past the red as well? Yes, they are. Just hoping for this to stop in time. Ends up in shot position.
Lovely shot, completely covered. Sweepers worked it hard past that guard. Had past the red as well. Perfect.
Well, we've seen this guy before. We've called him the Shinkansen Express. He's known for his up-weight abilities, the big peel weights. Playing third for Team Japan, just like he did for Yosuke Morizumi, alongside Kosuke Morizumi and also Tatsuro Pardon. Yamaguchi. His longtime team now taking on a new challenge with 3 new teammates.
Yeah, he played in this very building.
Yeah, he played the Olympic Games. Finally, had a few runs at it. Finally, we were able to qualify. It was nice to see them. They were a fan favorite, and I'm sure this new team could become that as well, as we see third for Team Korea, Jung Byung-chin, trying to make a draw to the face of that red, but it looks like it's just over curled, and Japan still in shot position. Now the other players on this team obviously have played quite a bit of curling themselves, but surely it must be a great thing to have such an experienced player as Shimizu on the team as they're moving forwards.
It's always great to have that experienced player, can help and guide the team, give useful advice.
Coming around the centre guard now to try and sit two. You can see that nice break, that nice finish, and that's just going to come all the way around the guard, fully buried. Lovely ice, and that's a lovely draw.
Makes it look easy.
It's quite satisfying that to see a rock just finish like that around the guard.
Especially when the guard is actually in the house and he has finished top tee. Great shot.
So playing the run back here now, Korea. Oh, just overswept that one, I think. Had to curl a fraction more, but another yellow in the house.
Yeah, Korea have got last stone, so they'll be quite happy they've opened it up at the moment.
Looks to be a double on the reds at the moment, so Japan's going to have to do something about it.
Yeah, they need to be careful, because that double is very inviting.
I think they know it.
As we've said, it's very difficult to guard on this very swingy ice. But they need to cover the right side of that that red that's on the top of the button.
Yeah, it's quite a team shot to be able to place a guard when it's swinging this much. If you're ever a little bit narrow on the brush, you can try and get your sweepers to hold the line for you. A little bit wide, you call them off and maybe try and sweep a bit at the end to get the extra finish.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be in the high side and take it at the end than being tight and watch it over curl, because there's nothing you can do about it.
Line's looking pretty good for this one though. Keeping it alive, and that's going to end up right on line with the shot stone in the forefoot. Perfect guard from the left-hander. Skip, Yuta Matsumura. Kim So-hyuk represented Korea at many World Championships. Didn't make it to the Olympic Games. Might be quite keen to be able to come back. He makes a really good shot here. Well, that is one small step towards that Olympic dream. All playing for a spot in the World Championship this season through the Pacific Asia Curling Championship. And that's, of course, through the World Championship you find the chance to represent at the Olympic Games. Even just participating will give you a chance to enter the Olympic qualifying event. So as soon as you get there, just once in the Olympic cycle, you'll always have a chance. There's quite a few rocks to be played though before we get to Beijing in 2022.
Yes, one or two.
Matsumura with the draw here, looking a bit shy for weight. Huge sweep from Shimizu and Tanida. Just nibbling the 8-foot.
Third shot.
Japan just laying one, but how easy is it to get to for the Koreans?
Not very. Can't. I wanted just to get this fully into the 8 foot and lie 2. Sweepers worked it really hard.
Might just be the draw here. Be tempting to try and move that red and score 2, but you can't really see any way to do that. So the in-turn draw is called for Kim So-hyuk. Should be a fairly straightforward shot here. I've seen Japan play a draw down this path on their last one. A sweeper should have a good guess of what the weight's going to be.
It's hanging on the guard though.
It is. Oh. A little nudge, but it will slide into the 4 foot. A little scary there from Kim So-hyuk, but does the job. And that is 1 point for Korea in this first end. Exciting stuff already. We got 9 more ends to go here in the Gangneung Curling Center. Hi. Do I speak on air with the audio guy? Okay. Wasn't sure. Yeah, I just I can hear my own voice just a little too loud, so it's yeah. Can I? I have I can adjust my co-commentator, the truck, and the program. Not that I can see. I can try again.
발트까지 괜찮아. 위에서 괜찮아. 네. 얘는 들어오고 아니면 가리야.
2-0. That is the score for Korea. And Japan looking to, or Korea rather, looking to put the center guard in play there. And that just slips into the 12 foot. So Japan will actually play the hit here. You might say a bit of a defensive call. You surprised by this, Sarona?
Yeah, I thought they would have been happy they'd forced Korea to 1 at the first end, that they would put up their corner here and try and generate a couple.
You're quite used to seeing the Morozumi team be extremely aggressive, sometimes too aggressive. This new Japanese foursome might have a slightly different approach, but you won't judge them on one end. But I would have quite liked to see a corner guard there to try and score a couple back.
You sometimes see people remove it if it was on the 4 foot, because then if it's guarded they're chasing that the whole end, but that one was only top 12 foot, so it wouldn't have caused them any problems.
Will you find teams try different approaches to games throughout the season or several seasons?
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, they've got to find what's right for them and what suits them and what works well, because tactics can vary from team to team. 10 ends, it's a long game, so you may see different tactics in the first half to the second half. You know, you'll see teams want to, when they've got last one, just always have play out to the wings, whereas Japan are quite happy to draw around the centre here. So yeah, these boys will still be finding their feet with each other and how each other play and what suits them best as a team. He's got a lot of strapping on his arm there. Must have been sweeping very hard over the last few days.
That is one of many things we've been seeing in the last few years. Curling, lots of physios come with the team now at the big championships, try to tape them up and keep them healthy. A lot of work being done between games to keep them fit.
They're standing off this. Oh, on the high side. That was one where they could have erred on the tighter side and just nicked the guard out of play. Just having a look over in sheet A. Chinese Taipei against Australia. Randy Shin trying to go for the race for 2. Makes it, but rolls the back one out. So a score of 1 for Chinese Taipei. 1-0 after 1. And then on to sheet B. A lot of stones in there. Looks like China's lying several.
Yeah, So Cha with the last stone for the Chinese.
Could be a draw for 4, 3 or 4 there, not sure.
Could be a very good start to the first end here.
4, 5. Yeah, it's looking good. And a great shot.
Is it maybe even 5?
I know, they're all 4.
It's 4.
A great shot there. Great start.
Back on our sheet, Japan just a little bit off cue here. Yasumasa Tanida with 2 misses, 1 under curl, and then an over curl. And a chance for the Koreans to maybe chase that red one, sit 3. Ran pretty straight for Tanida down here. You see them throwing fairly controlled weight here, so they get a little bit of a bend around the guard. A little bit easier to control maybe with the sweeping. You have good sweepers as well. I think Lee Yeho will be quite happy with that one.
So Japan really need to try and get a roll off this one under the cover.
They're gonna start. Need to start making some shots here. That's gonna help.
Nice roll.
Bob Ursel, coach for Team Japan. Born in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The World Junior Champion back from '85 and has played a few Briars, the Canadian Championship.
Oh, unlucky there. Just going for the raise on their own. So a chance now for Japan to capitalise on that error and build up a couple at this end.
こっちから行く？ああ、ここぐらい、ここでもよいかいって感じ。こうだ。最後曲がってくるの遅いでしょ、こっち。遅い、ちょびっと遅い。
Coming the other way here. Thinking maybe to leave a bit of a stagger perhaps, or they'll have a bit more tolerance coming this way. If they leave it short, at least they're guarding their own red. Leave that other side open.
The last thing they want to do though is come in too far and leave a double.
Does have some running on it. Now sweeping it to bring it deeper and get some separation that way. Actually over curls, pops out the other side. Well, Japan does lie too.
아, 지금 2점 주고 생겼어. 핵? 핵. 최대한 정이나 약간 안쪽으로.
Chance for Korea though here to put a bit of pressure on Japan if they get a hit and roll off this. Doing quite a control weight, but it's hanging fairly straight at the moment.
Okay, good. Shot.
Didn't get the roll.
와, 안쪽이 진짜 안 돼.
割とストレート目に走って、でも俺の意思だったからね、あれ。それでもまっすぐっぽい。こっちに比べたら。ここは曲が
And I'll just follow him down and try and lie two here.
最後俺が。
There's a tiny piece of that rock in behind the guard. Needs to get to nose at least here. Yeah. Catch this a bit high, you might run it back onto your own red. Coming out the lefty hack. Bit of an advantage here actually. We'll see more of the Yellowstone.
Nice controlled weight. Can he get a bit of a roll? No.
I'll sit right there.
But does lie two.
Is there enough room to make the slash double? Not really looking at that, so might just be too tight of a squeeze to do that. They'll be playing the hit and roll on the back red.
밀리겠나 이까지? 잠깐만.
근데 쟤네가 맞고 와도 얘네가 1번이니까.
우리가 못 이길 것 같아?
Trying to figure out how far they can roll and get shot. And I think the conclusion is they can't really roll at all to get shot stone. So they're going to have to come after the red stone at the top 8. It's more or less the same throw for Kim So-hyuk. That should be quite comfortable. If anything, you can bring the weight down just a fraction. Maybe try and get a tiny bit more curl. Make that flop in behind cover.
Whoa. Head down. Whoa.
Yep.
Yep. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Yep. Yes. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
They seem happier with this line.
Off and on, all the way down. Has to be close to the guard anyway. And he'll make a roll, but rolls a bit too far actually in the end.
He did play a nicer down weight there just to get that roll. As you say, just unfortunate it was too far or too much of a roll.
It's quite weight sensitive on the ice, so when you bring the weight down a little bit, sometimes a little hard to know when that breaking point is going to come. Sits for shot stone, but a very makeable shot left for Matsumura. Last stone of the second end, could score 2 right back here. Just needs to catch this on the high side. Want this to curl. Needs to move over, and it will. There you go. Makes it look simple, Matsumura. And that is 2 points for Team Japan. They will lead it 2-1 after 2 ends of play.
잡아가서 그냥 틱 맞고 그냥 정파에서 약간만 안쪽만 봤어도 나쁘지 않았을 것 같은데.
하나만 해들었어.
너무 쓸데없이 spek하게 쏘는 거 같다가 이쪽으로 보여준 게 더 나은 거 같아. 오케이, 2점. 오케이.
いい感じ。ラインはいい感じ。最後フィニッシュなさそう。ラインはいい感じ。
Japan makes a draw into the house again. Scores 2 in that second end, even though they opened the end quite defensively.
Yeah, it was one good hit and roll. Set that up for them.
Yeah, had a few misses early on. But it doesn't take much to change the momentum of a curling end. We'll see Korea put up the corner guard, just like they did in the first end, when they had the last one advantage. Moving nicely to the wings as well. And Shinji Abe will be looking to put up his center guard here. Got to keep it in that free guard zone. Outside the rings, and Korea's not allowed to remove it from play. Inside the rings, Korea can feel free to do as they wish. And it will stop outside the rings. Just over curls a tad though, so that shot stone very much available. But I like this call by Kim So-hyuk. Just play draw weight here. Just tap it back. You'll have a bit more control and make sure you leave the shooter in play.
라인 좋아. 티.
8
계속 와줘. 여기라 계속 오면 될 것 같아.
약해
야!
7 6
아, 위에는 안 돼요. 계속 와줘. 좀만 더 오자. 얘들아, 좀만 더 했네. 예! 좀만 더 와야 돼, 이거! 더 붙어.
아 좀만 더
더
좀만 더.
붙어.
Wanted to tap the red a little bit. But we'll just pull up a tad shy as we jump on over to sheet A. Australia playing Chinese Taipei. It is Chinese Taipei with the lead at the moment. 1 up as Dean Hewitt comes out the hack for Australia. Last stone of the second end.
Kill, guys. Gotta kill.
Steve Johns and Dustin Armstrong on the sweep.
Good, guys. Wait early. Hard. Come on.
And now even Jay Merchant coming in to help. Drawing against a few yellows here. No problems. We'll find the side of the button for 1. That is a tied game after 2 ends of play. An update from New Zealand, Hong Kong as well. Looks to be New Zealand lying 1, drawing for 2. Scott Becker with the intern.
Just keep it clean. Keep it clean. Make sure it's round, Dobby. Yep. Make sure it's round, Dobby. Yep. Yes. Okay, you good now?
This one looking pretty good as it settles in.
Probably won the first one.
Top of the forefoot, 2 points for New Zealand. And that is a score, a 2-1 game through 2 ends.
On our game, Japan just came in too far with their draw and left a double takeout for Korea, which they made perfectly. So they now lie 2.
Whoa. Pink, Shinken. Whoa.
Japan just removed 1 of the Korean counters. So a good opportunity for Korea to hit and roll to the wing now and leave some separation between these stones.
똑같이 하면 돼 바운드 세게 해 컨트롤 다운
Out.
야! 오! 플레이, 야! 잡아올걸.
Didn't quite get the roll far enough. Does give Japan a chance now to come in off the inside of that one.
あ、1個前だよ。1個前。当たりはしない。ダブルは？こっち？パット半分より前だよ。結構角度はきつい。できそうに見えるけど。できそうに見える。こっち？どっちでもいいけど厳しいなら。こっちはないわ。こっちからは無理。ダブルするんだったらこっちだけど。
So Shimizu just trying to catch the inside of this top yellow and get the roll across. Just catches it on the nose. So Korea saying, right, okay, we'll try and get the roll across behind our corner guard.
약간
정재야. 동영아, 사이드로 살짝만 더 빼자.
Just didn't get the curl, so they're going for plan B and rolled to the wing.
경기 인턴 괜찮았어?
왜요? 좀 루즈한 것 같아요? 응? 좀 루즈한 것 같아요.
아니야.
So you can see there they've taken a bit less ice. They want to catch the inside of that stone. They know there's not much curl with running weight. Has he got it? He has. Great shot.
Well, doesn't fully remove that second yellow, but leaves the shooter half tucked around that center guard. Good thing he doesn't punch that yellow further, actually.
Yes.
Underneath the corner guard and leaves it in the open. Pretty good result.
Does give Korea the chance so now to hit and roll over to the wing and have their two pretty well separated.
정지야! 헐 정지! 계속 와야 돼, 계속 와야 돼. 우영아,
정대 가야 돼,
Pretty good here. Hits and rolls away. Leaves a double though for Japan. But hard to take away everything. Always leave your opponent something. So, do you want to play the hit and roll here, Matsumura? Or you go for the big shot, try and catch both two?
Yep, I'm sure they'd be happy with either, to remove both or get the hit right over and roll on top. There's no sweeping at the moment. So it doesn't roll behind cover. Korea will be able to see most of that stone. Korea have got last stone at this end. Looking good to score two.
오케이. 살짝 있어.
이거까지 여기.
So Kim Soo-hyuk skip for Korea, looking to just keep this second counter in the house. Plays it nicely. Again, it has left a double for Japan. Japan have had a few attempts at the double takeout at this end, just not made any of them. Can he make this one?
Either need the double or a perfect roll in behind the center guard to prevent a score of two for Korea.
He's changed his hand this time.
Quite make the double here. I was hoping for a plan B there maybe to sit frozen on the yellow, but just punches it over. That red stone very much available to Kim Soo-hyuk. Pretty much a nose hit. And they score two and back in the lead. They know what the shot's going to be. Just discussing the ice. How much does it curl on this spot? What weight to throw? No matter how good the ice surface is, it's not going to be 100% uniform. Very much due just to the players are out there playing, and the ice is changing depending on where they're playing and sweeping.
Yep, and that's where communication's so vital to keep on top of the ice conditions.
You might ask one of your players if they played down this line, how did it run? What did you feel? Constant information between teammates all the time, and that shot is made. Even makes the roll to the button for show. 2 points for Korea, and a 3-2 lead through 3 ends of play. This one's close so far, as we were expecting.
근데 타이트하게 잡고 그냥 하던 대로 보냈거든.
보내주긴 했는데 괜찮아.
그 웨이트니까 돌아들어와서.
일단 이 정도 스팟이면 괜찮은 것 같아. 지금 새로 테이크 많이 하네. 이렇게 서고 다시. 다시.
야, 이쪽 좀 조심하겠다. 오케이. 얘들아, 조금만 더 오자. 조금만 더 오자.
라인 좋아, 라인 좋아.
5, 넷.
5, 넷, 좋아. 오케이. 괜찮아, 센터만 보자. 센터. 와우.
와우, 굿.
Can I come in any time here or wait for the slate? Center guard up by Team Korea. Got that 1 point lead, but they'll try and force the play in around the center line. Japan won't bite though, they'll throw a corner guard.
So corner guard just slipping into the rings.
Yeah. Sort of inexcusable for lead.
롤. 1번이 뭐예요?
스테이.
오케이.
Yep, you would never get away with that, Xander. You wouldn't do that though, would you?
I would try to have the goal for a championship or a tournament to not do that once. Can't remember if I succeeded, but shouldn't happen. Not very often, at least.
Especially with a keen ice and 2 very strong sweepers.
Yep. The good part, though, is we have the 5-rock rule. So you can throw another corner guard here. Korea is not allowed to remove it as of this season. Of course, last season, put up another corner guard, Korea could just peel it. So gives the lead a second chance, gives the team a second chance when you have the last stone advantage to put stones in play and be aggressive if you so wish. So it's a great addition to the game.
Yep, certainly is. Get a lot more stones in play. More exciting for the players and the spectators. So he's played that corner guard well enough. So this is when, as you say, Xander, Korea would normally move out and peel that corner. So now having a discussion, where will we put it? So decided just to draw around the centre guard. Jae having a good tournament so far.
라인 좋아. 웨이트만 봐줘. 탑버트. 어디니? 라인. 라인 많아. 동영아.
Trying to bury this behind the centre.
동영아 좀만
A
더.
long way to curl though.
좀만 더 힘내. 안쪽만 가려줘. 그렇지.
It's worked it well, but stays out in the open.
지금 저거 때문에.
Japan will choose to ignore that just now and take off the centre guard. They want to open things up. They've got last stone.
Making a play. The centre guard here. Looking to roll behind the corner. Just rolled a bit too far, but hangs on to the house there. Pretty good shot. Opens it up. Leaves the rock to worry about for Korea. And now a chance to peel the corner.
들어왔어.
I'm thinking to maybe get a 3-in-1 here. Remove the corner, leave a centre guard, and also clip that red stone in the rings.
That would be a good shot. Well, he's taken the corner guard out of play, but just rolls the shooter out. Tight of line.
Does the main job. I'll jump on over to sheet D, New Zealand, Hong Kong. There's the Kiwis with that 1-point lead. Maybe a bit of an in-out release there. Looking to come through the hole, looking pretty close. Just going to catch that top guard. And it's going to be one red. A steal of one for New Zealand. And a 3-1 lead.
Lovely wee hit and flop over there for Japan. In behind the Korean yellow stone. So Korea just choosing to hit this, although it's third stone. They're trying to hit and roll in. Plays it perfectly. Talai shot. It's important now for Japan just to keep this in play. Can lie two. Just hits it on the nose. Potential double for Korea.
We saw Japan attempt a similar double a few times in the previous end. Couldn't quite pull it off. We'll see if Korea is able to do it. Gangneung Chin, one, rolls over. It's the second one going. Not out of play, but leaves the shooter in behind their own yellow. Tough to get to for Japan. Very nice shot.
Lovely shot.
Very tough to make the double across the top of the red without jamming. That's why they're thinking to catch the high side here. Bumper weight, board weight. Is that about barrier weight in Scotland, or is barrier just a touch more?
Barrier's a touch more.
Basically, this stone should have enough weight to reach the bumper in behind the hack on the far end. It's a very controlled weight, as we can see, wanting to stick around here. Just catches it a tad too high for the double.
Just very close to rolling the shooter in. It just spun out.
Probably hoping to move that second yellow a bit. Not sure if they would have been able to kill it with that kind of weight. Quite soft.
Yeah, I think they'd have been happier to keep the shooter in, but it still causes a slight problem for Korea. Because if he doesn't lift this double, it will now give Japan the opportunity to hit the yellow that's now open and lie 2. So he wants to run this right back and split the red out of the house.
그래, 어차피 둘 다 실패한다고 생각하면 드로우가 3점까지 나갈 수 있어.
So Kim Free-up, skip for Korea, looking for the raise.
Much bigger weight from the Korean skip, but just over curls. Right past the second red, but rolls the shooter into the forefoot. Level with the other yellow, and that's going to make it hard for Matsumura to play a double back, if not impossible. So unlucky not to make the double, but a little bit lucky to leave the shooter in that spot.
Yeah. 形としてはそっちの方が最後中央に寄せられてダブルでこっちに狙うの結構きついからこういう感じまっすぐバンパーはまっすぐ最後だけ回して
So really all Japan can do here is hit and roll over towards the other yellow. The double's not on. If he rolls it over, try and force Korea to nose it and then leave them a double with his last stone.
でセンターロールだね10 10
Want to roll off the inside and come over to the center one. Yeah, plays that well. Does it lie short? Maybe just.
I think so. Well, it's hard to tell. Depends a little bit on our angle, actually.
They're having a good look.
It's hard to tell for the players as well.
I would say it's red. I would put my money on red at the moment.
You're all £2?
Maybe just £1.
I think Korea probably will end up making a play here anyway.
The thing is, if they straight raise it back, it could leave the double for Japan. So he'd want to get some sort of separation between his stones.
이렇게 진행할 수밖에 없다 생각하면 좀 힘들긴 하지. 어차피 2점 줘야 돼. 어차피 상대로 2점 따야 될 것 같으면 우리가 1번 유지하면서 이 샷을 줄이게 나을 것 같아.
제 생각에 일단 칠 거면 이거 쳐야 돼.
치고 그냥 여기까지 이거 백까지 만들어버리자.
오케이.
어차피 1번이잖아. 얘네들 이거 쳐야 돼.
네, 쳐야 돼.
안쪽으로 와서 쓰면 2점.
쉽긴 한데
두 개가 나오긴 나와.
우리가 이거 스테이 하면 어차피 더블 2점. 어려운
더블이 더
거
어렵지 않을까요?
이쪽에서 너무 가까이 붙어 있어서.
근데
근데-
잘못 맞으면
아니 슈터 이렇게 살짝 가는 거 1번으로 보고 더블 해놓으면은 잘 해도 2점인데 이거는 그냥 안쪽만 이렇게 얘네 약한 애들 잘 치니까
안쪽 보고 각을 삐뚤게 하자.
네, 네.
세워서.
그냥
이거 벌어지면
네,
더블
네,
하니까.
너무 무리하지 마.
위험할 수도 있어요.
이건
뭐가?
이건
위험 부담이
위험 부담이 있잖아.
혹시라도. 근데 이거 상당히 어려운 거예요. 만약 우리가 가면 이거 발라내기 은근 어려워.
쉽진 않아.
네, 쉽진 않아요.
그냥 이걸 하자. 어차피 2점이야.
오케이?
여기까지 가도 될 것 같아.
살리는 게 중요해.
아, 여기서.
Well, it really depends on what they think here, who's lying
같이 치면
shot.
될 것 같아.
우리가 어려운 거 할
think-
필요 없어.
They're lying shot. If Korea is lying shot stone, they can make a hit on this winger and leave a pretty tough shot for a deuce for Japan. They would have to nudge that yellow somehow and keep the shooter in the forfeit.
원아웃 때도 어차피 상대는 2점 힘들게 2점이야.
If not, they could play the short run back on the yellow and try and get a separation somehow where there's no double. That's kind of hard to do though. You're talking about rolling into the forfeit. Not sure if that's necessary. Just even staying on the wing here, probably good enough. They'll roll all the way across. Maybe all the way out. No, it's going to hang on. I think that's okay. And now we'll see if Japan think they're shot stone and just plays the draw, or if they want to come and nudge the yellow.
I think red's lying shot. I still maintain in my eyesight.
We might never find out.
No, just draw the button and go for the measure. No, he's obviously, with that ice, he's trying to nudge the yellow.
I was a bit surprised Korea wanted to roll into the forfeit, because if they roll to the spot
밖에.
just underneath Abe's brush there, could have really provided backing for the shot for Japan. They come and make the nudge and the shooter slides a bit far. Could have helped them actually.
半分当ててそっちに残す。
So, yep, they're convinced that the yellow is lying shot. They need to nudge it to the side to try and score two. So just need to catch a thin piece of that yellow to nudge it out the way. Sweepers are trying to hold it on the line. Is it over curling?
That is close. Is that enough? I think so.
It's definitely one. Not sure if it's two.
Well, you'll give us a second chance to make a guess here, Rona.
So close to being absolutely perfect.
A measure is called.
Oh, we thought we were going to be measuring the other two, not these two.
I believe they agreed on at least one for
Yeah.
Japan, and this will be a measure for the second point. Japan with that red stone, Korea the yellow. Care to make a wager?
Oh, I think it's only going to be a one for Japan. The sweepers worked it so hard to just hold it. Just over curled that fraction at the end.
Oh, have the umpire come on. Do a proper measure here. We will shortly find out.
My eyesight's obviously no good from here because I thought it was red before and it wasn't. They went for the yellow shot, so I'll just keep quiet on this one.
Couldn't quite catch the first measure there. Might be red. That is red. According to the umpire, 2 points for Japan. Just enough for Matsumura. And Japan is back in the lead now, 4-3. This game is just back and forth all the way through. 4-3 after 4.
右だいぶ来てるだいぶ来てはいるよこのまま18.1
All quite close so far through 4 ends. Japan and Korea, just like we were hoping. In the 5th end now. Last end before the halftime break. Always nice to pick up a few points before that halftime break, Rona, before you need to face your coach.
Face your coach, it sounds as though they're the big bad ogre. No, it's there's been a few chances for both sides and they're just capitalising when they can, which is great to see that they're scoring their twos. That was a fantastic shot there from Japan to get their two. So yeah, it's both teams are wanting to go into this break feeling positive.
And we see another corner guard slip into the rings, this time from Korea. One each so far.
Yeah, that's pretty slick out there that they are struggling a wee bit with the weight.
Yes! 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 Yes!
But it's interesting how the ends that has happened previously has been when they've scored twos.
Wait good. Wait good. Shot.
Just exchanging nose hits.
Yes! Green, go!
Let's enjoy another look at Sheet D, New Zealand, Hong Kong. Look at that house, just peppered with red stones, kiwi stones. Hong Kong needing to draw against a bundle here.
Yeah, drawing against 5. The good thing is he's got a way in to the button.
Yeah, fairly open. But now heavy, so sweeping it onto the backing to try and save something. But it looks like 2 for New Zealand, running away with this game 5-1 after 4. Much closer between Australia and Chinese Taipei. Australia lying 1 here before Dean Hewitt's last stone. Not a lot of room to get in there for a second point. Steve Johns, Dustin Armstrong keeping off this one so far. Can it come through that port? It does not. Rex in the front. So just a single for Australia and it's all tied after 4.
Both Korea and Japan have been trying to get this hit and roll, but just hitting on the nose. Seems to have straightened up a wee bit down that side and nobody's getting the inside roll. Stone's getting higher and higher out the rings.
11半11 11
Yet again, another nose hit. They're now laughing about.
컨트롤 다운?
This one must be a tighter line. They're trying to hold it. Oh, so the first time they get the inside roll. Is it going to stay in? No, it's not. So now the opportunity for Japan to get round this centre guard. Try and force Korea to their one at this end. Sweepers are happy with the weight, just trying to get the line to get it buried. Just slipping back T. Still calling the dead freeze here.
왼쪽만
잡지 않았어요? 바우스까지 괜찮아. 바우스까지 괜찮아.
룸. 아, 라인 괜찮아. 라인 괜찮아.
와, 룸.
룸.
와, 아니야.
정지야.
Wants to sit right on top of that red stone.
위에서. 야, 정지 와야 돼. 정지야, 더 와야 돼.
Weight was perfect, just slightly high of line. But does lie short. Japanese bench, all looking quite relaxed at the moment. Getting the binoculars out just to see how the stones are lying at the far end. Is this one going to overcurl? Can they hold it? Ah, nice stone. Japan lie one. Just fractionally overcurled at the end. Wanted to sit more on top of the yellow. Sweeper's working it hard to hold the line. Just sprung off the inside. But it does lie short, so Korea need to move it.
살렸다가 끝에 위로 들어와야 돼. 웨이트 11. 살짝 바운스 시켜서 돌리고. 아, 400개.
잡으면 뻗어서 8? 8? 8.
스라인 스라인
하면 가자. 기다려줘.
좀 약해. 이게 비슷해.
도겸아.
Kim Soo-hyuk just looking to nudge the red stone to the side. Just wanted to tap it. Oh, just didn't curl enough. Has left Japan lying shot.
Yeah, that's a nice pocket to draw onto for Japan as well. Could make it very hard for Korea. They just half checked their own red here. Right there. It will be almost impossible to remove for the Koreans.
No, he played a nice controlled weight there just to tap, but it didn't curl as much at the end as he had hoped. Yeah, so stone placement's really important here for Japan. They don't want to leave a double on those reds. They want to come right back and freeze on top of the yellow. There's plenty of room at the moment. It's quite high of line. Come in now.
Working this one for weight. Looking close to a really good sweep from Tanida and Shimizu. Not bad there. Oh, another foot, and it's perfect. These boys did everything they could.
They worked it hard the whole way.
Gotta go.
It wasn't actually the tolerance they were discussing there. They were saying, well, even if we come all the way down onto the yellow, it's pretty good. Ends up stopping short.
Yep, they could have come off the inside of that yellow virtually and lay 3.
Now we're going to see an interesting show here. Big weight. Come off their own yellow. Spring across. Get to the red shot stone, punch it sideways. I think you might need a slight tickle off of your second yellow, the second shot. Touch that, come back up. Try not to move the yellow too far.
But that's the thing, both yellows could go. So it is only potentially for one.
So, catch this first yellow with big weight. Jump across, get a slight redirect off your own yellow, then onto the red. Score 2. That's the plan here for the halftime for Kim Soo-hyuk. Is it close? Doesn't quite get it thin enough, but rolls in. Is it good enough for 1? I don't think so. Looks like red to me. We might have another measure. It's got to be red though, Rona.
I think so. But after the last end, I'm not saying anything from our angle up here. But yeah, I would say it's red. He was really unlucky there not to roll in.
Just a tad wide though, or a tad too much ice. I think the tolerance was maybe to catch it too thin, and the shooter would probably stick in there for 1 either way. Really wanted to see that shot be made.
Yeah, and just with the bigger weight, there was no recovery time there for it.
So a second measure in this game. That's how close this game has been through what is very soon 5 ends played. One for Japan or one for Korea? See the dial here. Is that the number 3, I believe?
Yep.
He goes one, just one, so it's red. It is Japan to pick up a point. And there we have it, a 2-point lead. That's the first time we've had a 2-point gap in the game. So Japan will be the happier of the two sides coming into halftime. Bob Ursel as well. It's a 5-3 game in favor of Japan.
さっきのハックはマジで焦ったもん。鬼だったので。
Second end. Japan down by 1. Looking to score 2 here with Skip Matsumura's last stone. Very much in control here. Removes the yellow, sits 2, scores 2. In the third, though, it was Korea to strike back. Kim So-hyuk with an open hit as well. A controlled weight and some good brushing. Holds the line for So-hyuk, and 2 points on the board. In the fourth end, we had a close look to see who's lying shot. Matsumura feeling he needs to move the yellow and roll the shooter in for 2. Very close, but a measure would tell us it was 2 for Japan. With a single steal, they lead it 5-3. While Australia, Chinese Taipei, they're tied at 2 each. China leads 8-1 playing Qatar, while New Zealand is 5-3 up on Hong Kong here in the Gangneung Curling Center.
If they get back and tie the game, I still like if they come in, they hit, go to the side, then go up. But yeah, let's look to be real stingy. And let's bring our energy up. I feel like our energy is a little bit down this game. Quiet. So let's bring our energy up. Okay? You guys seem a little quiet.
따박할 생각해.
네.
알겠지?
네. 할 수 있어, 할 수 있어.
분위기 조금만 올려줘.
근데 좀 싸우고 싶구나? 너 되게 긍정적이네.
Just taking a quick look at the stats. We've seen 2 teams make a lot of shots this afternoon. Japan just out shooting Korea by 3%, but there's not much else to pick from. Just that 1 stolen point for Japan, but after a measure as well. Might as well have been a tied game here at halftime. Hoping for more of the same in the next 5 ends.
ンスちょっとあるわちょっと早いわそれは早いわ全然奥だバックラインぐらいあるから13.9
Early mistake here. Shinja Abe just slipping to the very back of the 12 foot. And this sixth end as the teams are back on the ice. Now we do see the ice makers come in at halftime, put a little pebble around the hack, and then bring that huge mop up and down the sheet. Takes a bit of debris off of it. And sometimes the ice just runs just a tad quicker when you come back onto the ice. I've seen that so many times. The lead rocks in the sixth end, just sliding a bit too deep, but for Korea, they get the corner guard in place.
Yep, Japan have been struggling all game though. Their lead with the straw weight, he's slid in a couple of times into the rings when asked for a guard.
The call is a guard now. Sometimes you'll see a team, if they put that first one in behind the T-line, will be a bit more defensive with the second, bring that into the house as well. But Japan wants a center guard here. Have something to come around later. Try and keep the play in around that red forfeit. Korea, though, very happy to bring the play out to the wing, leave a bit more room to score. Lee Dong-hyung playing 80% so far. Halfway through.
얘들아 라인 많아.
와 너무 잘했어.
웨이트 가야 돼. 웨이트 가야 되는 웨이트야.
맞아. 괜찮아. 계속.
가면 돼 이제 가면 돼 명진.
와줘. 유진아 좀만 더 오자.
Working this one hard to try and get it behind the cover. That's a nice shot there. It's not fully buried.
ワンパ3パット1個ぐらいだよ。3分の1見えないぐらい。こっちになっても。
So Japan are saying even if we catch the top one and roll over, that would be the correct side to err on.
Yasumasa Tanida struggling a little bit in this game at 70%. Would like to have a better second half.
Played a nice weight just to hit and roll over. Is it going to stop though? Just spun out the rings. So it gives Korea the opportunity now to put a better one round that corner guard.
웨이트에 있어.
열.
하나. 하나까지예요.
아니야 길어.
12.
확실해.
와우. 맞아야 돼. 맞아야 돼.
아니야 그냥 가면 안 돼.
Looking wide and heavy. Is it going to stop? It's not. Another mistake there. So he's annoyed with himself for that one. So Japan just going to remove this corner guard, take away the danger, try and roll into the house. So remove the guard and just hang on in the wings. A good shot there. So Japan lie 2.
괜찮아.
티! 열!
잠시만.
열! 열이에요. 티!
백진아 아니야, 루미야.
티!
Lee Jong-jae wanting to make amends for his last stone.
라인 좋아. 버려주지 말고.
Just looking to corner freeze. Plays it beautifully. Great shot. Oh, 100% game for Shimizu at the moment. And that'll keep his stats up there. Remove all stones from play. So when your third's firing 100%, it's a nice feeling for the skip to be following that player.
Yeah, makes life a bit easier.
정재가.
However, there is a centre guard for Korea to come round.
정재가 계속 와.
Try and get into the forefoot.
아이 좋아. 정재 좀만 더.
더 와야 돼. 더 숨기자.
좀만 더 숨기자.
좀만 더.
A wee bit short, but it is lying short. Japan will be able to see just the corner of it.
Slightly tough to make the hit and stick. See Matsumura slightly worried about jamming on the back red as well, just outside the house.
Yeah, he says, hey, I'm playing 100% today, give me the raise. I'll go for that.
The Shinkansen Express again, Tetsuro Shimizu. It's onto something here. Just runs it past, but does open it up.
So now a great chance for Korea to lie two.
와줘. 나 많이 갈 것 같은데. 계속 와줘. 라인 잡아줘.
라인 좋아. 웨이트만.
계속 와줘.
가야 돼.
와줘. 타이트해주고 있어. 계속.
앞뒤로.
말이 붙어야 돼. 그래, 좀만 더 오자.
좀만 더.
Hoping to bring this all the way down onto the red frozen, but that's a pretty good spot as well. Lots of separation, no easy double. Eyeing it up though, the slash. Catch the right-hand side of this top yellow. If you're extremely unlucky though, you might actually be able to jam it on that red stone on the left. Not a bad game for Yuta Matsumura. Throwing 95%. Not taking much ice here. Trying to back the stone up. Catch a thin piece, bring it back there. What a shot by Yuta Matsumura. Slash double to get Japan out of trouble in the sixth end. So calm and collected.
Very calm.
Beautiful shot there.
What a shot.
That is not easy. First to throw it, and just to know exactly how much you need to hit to make that double. A good line call as well from Shinja Abe.
블랙 가야 될 것 같아. 지금 더 이상 무리하면
See both skips having very solid games today.
The good thing for Korea here is that there's plenty ends left that they don't need to. Oh, just clips it out. He didn't need to go crazy and try the freeze here. He's quite happy now to blank this end and go for the bigger end with the hammer.
Matsumura already in the hack. Probably expecting an open hit there. But they've just made the call from the hack, and it's to try and freeze this red stone left in play. Just make it a bit harder for Kim So-hyuk to blank the end. Sweeper's delight, as this one's there all by its own. Probably not going to be enough to force an error from Kim So-hyuk, but does force him to play the in turn at this. I think you'll see most skips would prefer to maybe throw the out. You don't agree, Rona? Do you have a preference?
I would always throw the out turn here, but I think with the swing air ice here on the in turn, he's got more control over it this way.
Well, he's going to throw some heat here, trying to take the curl right out of it, actually. Hope for this to just run straight, make contact, spin out, blank the end. There you go. No problem at all. So the score remains the same. First blank of the game here in 6. Japan will still lead at 5-3.
준비만 빨리 해서
시간 없는 건 아닌데.
이번에 거 촬영하면서
다시 한번 해보죠. 두 개 하고 참석하고 2개 따고. 에이다 나이스다.
Team Korea retains the last stone advantage here as we play the 7th end, trailing by 2. They'll be throwing up the corner guard, try and score a few points to get back in it. If you're just joining us, we're at the Gangneung Curling Center here on the east coast of South Korea. You're listening to myself, Sander Ulvåg, and I'm joined by Rona Howie to give you the play-by-play here. As we have 4 ends of exciting curling left, might even be 5 if this is tied after 10. This time the corner guard is in the perfect spot. And Matsumura called for the center guard, but just turned around, looked at the scoreboard thinking, well, we're 2 up. Might as well bring it in.
I think it's better bringing this one in, because if they left it short because the one in the house is back tee, it gives something for Korea to freeze on. This one's coming right in on top.
ああ、2投目も滑ってる。ナイス。
何秒？
14.8。14.8。
Korea could come up and just play about with those, bump them and try and force an error out of Japan.
This is sometimes where we see the lead maybe try and make a hit, and if they roll out, the opposition clears the guard and the end is over. But again, with that 5-arc rule, there's have a bit more room for error to keep the ends alive. That's a nice double there.
Shot.
Cautious approach to the end for Korea as we head on over to New Zealand, Hong Kong. Hong Kong with shot stone in the back for Scott Becker. With somewhat of a trick shot here.
Hard! Yep, 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 yep. Hard!
1-2, and look at that, what a shot by Scott Becker. Double run to score 3. Pretty good effort, I must say.
Great shot.
That
You heard him say sweet. That's exactly it. Sums it up.
We'll give them a 5-point lead. They now played the 6th end over there. Korea has been able to keep that center open and bring the play in behind the corner guard. A free draw here to set
Unfortunately, Japan rolled behind the corner guard, which wasn't the best place to roll to.
Well, might give some backing for Korea. Might make it all tougher to remove this yellow for Japan, but collects the guard, spins into the top 12 in the open. Bit of a missed opportunity there.
Yep, and he knows it. So Japan were quite happy they even hit this on the nose. Just to block that draw around for Korea. Yeah, plays that nicely. Japan lie 2. Just makes the draw around that corner harder for Korea now, so they think they need to move it. They could hit and roll off the back one. Yep, they've chosen to do that, hit and roll into the 8-foot. Doesn't get the roll inside. Still bites the rings though. Japan not going to take any chances. They'll just remove it from play. See the time clocks in the background. Both teams get 38 minutes of thinking time to play their 10 ends. It's up to them how they allocate the time.
I don't think there'll be too many time issues in this game.
No, both teams are pretty quick at making their calls, not wasting any time. So who's going to get the roll in here first?
Running pretty straight down the spot, I guess. So you're just going to have to believe it. Tighten up the ice or bring the weight down. That is a pretty good effort.
Good shot.
Doesn't get fully buried, but close to it.
아, 정규 불러야 되는데 널 불렀어.
I think it'll be hard for Japan to follow that on the outside of the corner.
And they themselves blocked the way in the other hand.
Yeah.
So it's now a chance to... They could tap the red up here.
バンパーであんまり曲がんないと思うんだよね。こんなもんだと思う。前触って押し込みたくないよ。与えたくないね。バンパーでやんだったら。せっかくこっちからフリーズだと思うんで。
They could angle the red onto the Korean stone, or they could just straight tap the red.
分かるんだったらバンパーで狙ってもいいと思うけど。こっち？押せそうに見えるけど。それはだけど開いちゃったら結局。立ってから。それだったらドローがいいと思う。ここだったら、こっち？コーナー。ここね。悪くはないからこっち当たっちゃってもっていう感じはするけど。
Oh, that looks like a tight squeeze.
Looking at so many options here.
ちょっと押す感じになると思うんだ。
I think they're
こっち
looking
かわすのに
to
は。
come through the hole. They'll keep talking about it a bit more. I think that's the call in the end. As we jump on over to Australia, Chinese Taipei. Australia line 1. Dean Hewitt. Again, tough draw. Again, not a lot of room to maneuver in there for the second point. Not a lot of brushing this time either for the Australians, just waiting for this one to make a move. It's not going to curl enough, just going to slip a bit too far, I think. It's just one for Australia and a 5-3 lead for Chinese Taipei. If you kept your eyes on our featured game, you would have seen Shimizu make a beautiful draw through the hole and punch that yellow back. That was an incredible shot.
It really was. A very tight space to come through. Got the weight and line perfect.
Probably had to play a back ring weight to make it through there. And now a run back.
If Korea get this right, they can lie too guarded. Oh, just caught it and ran out.
So
unlucky. It's one of these so close, but yet so far. So advantage turns to Japan. You can see there, just fractionally over curled. He wanted to run it straight back onto the one in the house and lie two. Now Japan have a nose hit to lie two. And plays it perfectly. Great shot there.
China has beaten Qatar 13-1. It's a steep learning curve for Qatar, but they're making improvements every time they're on the ice. One of the new additions to the Pacific Asia curling region. It's great to see them out there. Always having fun, but very competitive as well. If you remember back to early 2000s, you would have seen some of the most competitive teams this week at the same level and made lots of improvements. over the years. It'll be fun to see how Qatar develops
Yeah,
the years coming.
absolutely. It's great to see these new nations competing.
정재야 조금만
9
안쪽으로
nations
잡아줘.
here in the men and 7 in the women. It's great to see the sport expanding.
Kim So-hyuk around that redstone top 12. Big sweep for line early on. Needs to get past that top red, or it's just going to bounce in the open. How much weight do they have? Going to let off it now, hope for it to stop in time. Abe is allowed to sweep behind that tee line, but it will sit for shot stone. And Japan will follow. Matsumura very quick to tap his brush.
That was a great sweep there. Had to get it past that top one. Couldn't risk nicking off it. The only benefit for Japan is that it is back tee. He can follow that in and just freeze on top.
그래도 위로 세워서 하고 지나갔어요.
그냥 나이스 겟!
Won't mind being all the way down onto the yellow here.
He's a slightly higher line than Korea were coming in there. Here it comes.
Drag it a bit further, trying to get it a little bit buried. That's a very nice draw by Matsumura as well. I am not sure if Korea can score 2 here.
It's a great shot, because all that Korea can see, they would just jam it onto their own back yellow.
지금 여기였어 형님. 더 안쪽 잡아요?
그냥 그쪽이면 될 것 같아. 약간 바운스도 괜찮아.
I think he's got to make sure of his one here. Can't be too clever. Doesn't want to lose any more shots against the head.
스틸로 가야 돼. 몇 초였어?
86.
티까지만.
와우
라인
라인
괜찮아.
좋아.
웨이트만 봐.
티 버튼 불어야 돼. 이제. 지금 바운스 안 나와.
라인
Might have some
괜찮아.
backing here if they have the line.
티만 가, 티.
So
얘들아,
a
가야
little
돼.
bit important for the sweepers and vice skip here to communicate. Don't want to sweep it onto backing that's not there, but this will have perfect weight and stop on the tee line. Great draw by Kim So-hyuk. They score 1. Not what they were hoping for, but a point nonetheless. Japan still in the lead, 5-4. Now after 7 ends of play.
1점 싸움하고 마지막에 우리가 2점을 가든지 해야 될 것 같아. 5대4. 일단 스틸 가야 돼.
6대4.
아니야, 우리가 따돌려야 돼.
하나로 볼까요? 하나로 볼게.
말이 약해?
하나.
다섯은 못 갈 것 같아.
알았어.
넷.
클리어하자.
하나. 둘.
상대 따라 들어와도 가서 하나 더 가야겠다.
Lee Dong-hyung gets us started here in the 8th end with a long center guard. And I think that is definitely on purpose, and we might see a second center guard be played as well here. Korea might be looking to go all out. The hunt for the perfect result in this 8th end. A steal or at least a force.
Yeah, because Japan will be really trying to get their 2 at this 8th end. Like to score at the 8th end of a 10-end game.
See them come around the center. Not throw a corner guard. You want to be a little bit more cautious. Even scoring just a 1 here for Japan, not too bad. Then they could afford to give up a 2 in the 9th and come home and hammer all tied up.
That's how Japan got their 2 in the, back in the 2nd end. They didn't put up the corner and came round, managed to score 2.
Thought they were looking for a tight center guard here. Maybe just a bit heavy and switch up the call, not sure.
A lot of high-fiving going on, they're quite happy with that one.
Shinja Abe is asked to calm down. Just tap these stones around a little bit. Free up his own red. Catch this on the nose or even a hair on the inside.
He's very high of line at the moment. Is it going to make contact? Just. That's not an ideal result for Japan. Leaves Korea in the driving seat, controlling the top of that button.
B 플레이 뭐예요?
B 없어. 무조건 붙어야 돼.
Please? 오케이.
살짝 바운스까지 괜찮아.
Looking to freeze their own here. Lee Dong-jae. Right on top of the yellow. Glue it on.
라인 넉넉해. 라인 좋아지고 있어.
Lots of communication all the way down here.
정진아.
Want to bounce with this line. Also a bit high. Just a nudge.
Pretty good result there. They'll be happy with that. Not easy for Japan to move.
Even if you could move that top yellow, just spring onto that red to the right of our screen. Japan definitely needs to move a few things around, even if it means removing one of their own stones from play here. Needs to open up this forefoot. Bumper weight. Trying to get to the inside of that yellow, just played by Korea. Yasumasa Tanida has struggled a little bit with these type of shots. Well, that's a pretty good shot there.
Yeah, it was really the best he could do.
Korea sitting 2 at the moment, but makes it a lot easier for Japan to perhaps remove those yellows later on.
Yeah, the guard is pretty long.
넷.
So it's easy for Japan to come round.
Slight advantage for Jong-chae over Tanida.
셋도 괜찮아. 셋, 넷.
라인만요.
타이트. 타이트하다 얘들아.
셋이요. 둘.
계속 와줘.
둘 하나 둘.
계속 와줘.
하나.
계속 와야
Korea
돼.
quite happy to
좋을 것 같아. 계속 와,
discard
계속
the
와.
situation in the forfeit. He's hoping to bring it a little bit deeper and get a little more separation. Might see Japan try and peel both the guards now as they're a bit close together. Jump on over to sheet A, Australia, Chinese Taipei. Australia lying 1, but Randy Shen, skip of Chinese Taipei, is looking to remove the stone. Kind of pick it clean, and they can. Great shot by Randy Shen. And that is 3 points for Chinese Taipei. A few ups and downs this week, but that will put them 5 points ahead of Australia. 8-3. Speaking of 8-3, that is the score between New Zealand and Hong Kong.
No.
Before this last throw.
No, you can't touch it. Whoa.
Getting to come through the port here. Starting to make a move to get to the Kiwi shot. Stone makes the hit and stick. That is 2 points for Hong Kong. Still in this game, but New Zealand in front, 8-5.
And here Japan tried to rip both the centre guards, but left 2 guards in place blocking the in-turn. So now Japan are in a bit of trouble at this end. They're lying 2 against.
赤チョクいったらどうなるの？チョクやるんだったらこれがここになっちゃったら嫌だなって感じ。こっちからだね。芯よりちょっとこっちで。
Tatsuro Shimizu throwing 100%. Might have had some, maybe a few half shots here and there, but overall, did very well today. That is one half shot. Looking to make contact, but
Yeah, because you could see half the red, and was talking about raising it back onto the yellow, but they felt the guard into it was better. But by only removing the guard, they've now turned the advantage to Korea.
yeah, if they keep replacing this guard, then,
좀 타이트해.
well,
괜찮아.
they might steal too.
괜찮아.
Japan needs to
셋.
move some of the rocks in the forfeit.
가까이 오지 마.
And
멀리 숨기지
the way that the stones are placed, it's not easy for
마. 동영아.
Japan to remove the yellows, even with a raise.
Yeah, even though that red in the top 8 foot is quite open, even if they run that in, it's not great for Japan to play that angle.
ほぼ一
So
緒。
still
距離がちょ
sticking
っ
with
と
the
近
run
くなった
back.
だけ。
Shimizu gets a second crack at it. Pull high for line on the first one. So either tighten up the ice here or tighten up the throw. Almost a bit of in-out motion for Shimizu, and just a bit too much again. Almost clips the shot stone there.
Yeah, I'd have liked to have taken that out of play. Because, as you said, Xander, Korea just keep replacing this guard. Japan are in trouble.
See that left-hand side of the sheet as well, just completely choked off with 2 guards.
Yeah, and that was Japan that spun them both there. So they've blocked their own way in.
괜찮지?
Shimizu not quite able to help out his skipper in this end. A little worried, perhaps.
Yep, he's probably standing thinking, what am I going to be left with here? Not a lot.
Lineman,
Because we said at the 8th end, at the start of this end, Japan would be happy to score.
라인 괜찮아. 웃지마. 아 정지야 라인 괜찮아.
정진 와. 많이 와야 돼.
이들아 계속 가자.
정진 정진. 좀만 더.
That card is pretty much in the exact same spot again.
Perfect.
나 이상 지금 바뀔 줄 알았는데 계속 안 바뀌거든 그 방식인 게.
Will Matsumura have a third crack at this run back, or will they now make a play on that red stone to try and spin at least one yellow out?
For what he can see of that red, he could leave 2 yellows in play.
でもどっちにしろ投げれなくなるんじゃない最後。
Run the top red onto the yellow on the left. Question is he going to stick there or spin out the back?
Yeah, good spin over the top of the other yellow.
いやこれは多分いかないと思う俺。多分ここに残ってこれもここに残ると思う。
Whether you risk at this stage, it's his first stone of the end. Try and raise the guard in. Just tried it twice, they know the line.
先赤当たっちゃっても悪くない。
There's quite a few places you can hit this. If you just shave the red, you might be able to just touch that shot stone. But of course, if you run it onto the red, it's going to go onto either yellow. Even if you over curl, you go past the red stone, you might at least kill that yellow on the left as we saw it. So there's a few options, just got to be close here.
It just needs to move things about in the head to give him a chance with his last stone.
Just open it up a little bit here. Matsumura has had a good game. Z just slightly high for line as well. He is, but this time gets something moving. At least frees up those yellows a bit.
Yeah, because now Korea, it's hard for them to guard everything.
Yeah, I would say that is a slight improvement for Japan. At least makes Korea rethink this.
가드 칠 수밖에 없다.
중앙 가는 게 나을 것 같아.
와 그거 하면 어쩔 수 없어. 그거 하면 그냥 줘야 돼. 가드. 샘 라인.
생?
Throw the exact same guard here, it seems.
더블 있으니까.
Might need to curl a tad more.
Yeah, because if it stays in the same place, they would be able to probably come into the shot stone. Because the red guard's so long, there's plenty of room to come past it.
그 안쪽으로 센터 붙으면 돼.
See where this ends up. I think you would be quite happy to touch the center line with this one.
라인만.
둘, 셋. 라인만. 기다려줘. 셋. 셋.
This is, if anything, about wide for line at the moment.
They're working it hard to try and pull it.
It's coming now, though. So they're switching to try and hold the line. Does end up nibbling at center line, but I think there's a hole. Come through, catch the shot stone for one. Always have a look to see if you can score more than one, though.
Well, the guard's just been perfectly placed there. You can see it's not easy to get in.
If that was 2 inches to the right, though, it would be much easier for Japan. Should be happy that overcurled Korea.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is here, if Japan, as long as they removed one of the counters, you know, losing a one's not a disaster when they've got a one-shot lead. They certainly don't want to lose two.
Okay.
So 2 options being discussed here. It is come through that fairly snug port for 1. Maybe come off your own bread here. In off. Make the double essentially. You might score 2. You would have to throw quite a bit of weight though. Matsumura, I wouldn't say has quite the kick as Morozumi had on his team. He's throwing some heat though. Last on 8th end. Is it just a straight slash on the yellows? Yes, it is. Can't quite move that second yellow far enough. It is 1 yellow. A steal of 1 for Korea, and that is going to tie this game up. That's a nervy one. 2 ends left. 5-5.
もう割といいとこ当たってる。
割といいとこ当たってる。
넷, 다섯.
웨이트 넘버.
라인 괜찮아.
다섯.
와.
라인 좋아.
아니야, 뽑고 있어. 경진아. 센터 쪽으로 더 붙여줘. 더 많이 와야 될 것 같아. 조금만 더 붙이자. 조금만 더. 라인 좋아. 조금만 더. 힘내.
오케이.
It is a 5-5 game. Korea picks up the second steal of the game. Japan had 1 in the 5th. Korea steals 1 in the 8th end. Japan will keep the last one advantage. It'll be interesting to see how this one turns out. What are Japan hoping for in this end, do you think? What will be an ideal result?
Well, right now Japan, the advantage is turned to Korea at that last end, so I think Japan now, they want to go into 10th end with the hammer, so they'll be quite happy to blank this end, or take their 2. But the fact that Korea put up the centre guards and Japan have come round it, they'll be quite happy to blank. If they wanted their 2, they would have put up a corner.
I think scoring 2 and being up 2 before the last end has always been pretty good, but now with the 5-rock rule, not as safe anymore, perhaps.
No, definitely not. Much easier for the teams that are on the back foot to score.
I've seen teams score 3, even scored a 4 in a top-level game to win, down by 3 with this 5-rock rule. Things can get a bit cluttery. So I would think for Japan, I'd prefer blanking here. Keep a tight game. And everything's like normal, really. Just try and keep it open and score your 1. Just coming in 2 up. Don't feel as safe anymore. We don't really have all the stats for it yet. Not too much data collected, as we haven't played with the 5-rock rule all that much.
So far, yeah. But it'll be interesting by the end of the season just to see how many teams, with that hammer coming into a couple down. Years ago, they highly unlikely would win the game. But now with the 5-rock rule, there's certainly a lot more chance.
Never very easy to blank a 9th end, though. When
No, because Korea will be trying to very hard to make them or force Japan to take their one. It's all right saying what you want to do, but you can't control really what your opposition do. They've both got two very different agendas for this end, the two teams.
Good shot.
And that's a good shot there. So yep, Japan not taking any chances, opening this up. So does that nicely. Korea now making the call. Do they put up another guard?
I think they have to. It's a bit early to make a play into the house. Do that. Japan's got quite a few stones to tidy up before the blank, so maybe throw a few guards. Let Japan waste a few stones.
색까지만.
어디?
어디야?
하나 둘.
계속 와줘. 라인 신경 쓰지 마. 계속 와.
아니 괜찮아. 좀만 더 가면 돼.
좀만 더.
좀만 더 가자.
Working that one hard. So Japan just remove that from play again. All Korea can do is put up the guards and hope for an error. But no mistake there. Good clear.
Thinking hard here, Kim So-hyuk put his hand up to tell his team I just wanted a
길게는 별로야.
moment here.
내 따섯.
And that's good for the team just to give him that moment of silence. Sometimes when a skip wants to have a wee think, then quite often you'll hear the teammates start chiming in.
다시 어디?
Quick off these three players. A bit younger than Kim So-hyuk and probably have a lot of respect for him and his accomplishments. So they're eager to listen.
They're learning all the time from him.
Not sure if that worked out quite the way they were hoping for, Korea. We'll see Australia looking to remove yellows. I think this is a peel slight redirect off the corner to get the angle for the double takeout on the yellows. Very high difficulty. It's not going to come off for Hewitt and Australia. Felt they had to take that chance to stay in the game. It's over. It's a steal of 2 for Chinese Taipei, and it's a final score 10-3. Randy Chen and team bounces back with a win this afternoon. Now quite a few Japanese stones in the house for this 9th end.
Yeah, just Korea coming in with that last stone brought the play all into the house. So now they know they don't want to lose a big end here.
Definitely playing into the hand of Japan. I think everything's in the house, so a bit more control. They can try and score their 2 here, but maybe even get a blank.
야,ちょっと上には上がるけど、ここの関係は崩れるよね。どうも。 タップ
いやー、打った方が良さそうに見えるけどな。打っていいような気がする。
ノーズしたら相手あと2個でしょ。でこっち側に外れて、こっち当たんないの。当たる当たる当たる。当たるよ、それ。
I think this next goal is going to determine what Japan's really going for. Make a tap, you're sort of committing to scoring in this end. If you play a takeout though, you keep that blank alive. Thinking about coming off the wide yellow and move the others, but just going to play the heavy peel down the middle here. Make the double. It's not a bad result for Japan.
Certainly opens it all up.
Yeah, keeps it tidy. And still a few counters in the house. Just maybe hoping for a bit more action on that last yellow. But if Shimizu is not able to kill that last yellow rock, I'm not sure who will.
Yeah, because Korea now have the chance to lie to and stay lying to for the rest of the end and really force Japan to take their one, which is not what Japan want to do.
I can't say Matsumura has been too prolific with the doubles either in this game. Might have to play one if she wants to score his two. See what's left.
Or is he going to be happy to give up one and be one down with the hammer coming home with the new 5-rock rule?
That's not totally unlikely. Doesn't quite make that roll, so the double is on.
Both teams have got plenty of time left on the clock.
Half ぐらい。そうだね。寄って上になるとかでも悪くないから。
Well, he's always quite calm, Matsumura, but not oozing of confidence before this double. He's had a few attempts. Hasn't quite gone his way. Very focused when he finally is in the hack. Sweeping this for a line. Does over curl. Rolls over there. Kim So-yuk will have a second chance to make the hit and roll away. Try and sit two. Just try and avoid leave a double again for Matsumura.
어설프게 이렇게 쓰면 진짜 안 될 것 같아.
아, 확실히 정해야 될 것 같아.
확실하게 빼야 돼.
확실하게 빼는 걸로 볼게요.
확실하게 빼야 돼. 오케이.
오케이.
그렇죠.
Yep, some very tactical moves now with the skip's last stones in this ninth end.
다음도 괜찮았지 아까 전에. 거의 핵 느낌으로 갔는데.
Crowd looking very concerned.
Oh, it's a pretty exciting game we've had on our hands here.
So really important, primarily to keep this counter in the house, but to try and separate the two yellows.
Big sweep to hold the line here. Try and make the roll, maybe switching up the call now. Keep it on the nose. That is still not an easy double. I think you will just have to play for it.
Yep, he was just slightly inside there and he tried to hold it the whole way.
Still quite thin to make. At least quite thin to stick the shooter for 2. Catch it just a fraction too thick, you might see the shooter spin up and out the side door. Of course, you're a little wide here. There's just enough room to slip past everything.
No, don't tempt fate, Sander.
Overcurled with the first one here, Matsumura. We'll see if he makes a correction. Last stone, 9th end, a big one for Matsumura and Team Japan. Sounds pretty close. Calling off the sweepers here. Is it going to make contact? 1-2, look at that.
Perfect.
Sets for 2. There you go. Matsumura with the big shot. 2 points for Japan. That is just perfect. Don't mind seeing that again. Made out of hand. Right on the button. 2 points. And a 7-5 lead before the 10th end. Stay tuned.
저기 안 나가줬어 상대방이 하나가.
다시 해보죠.
2점? 2점 갔다 다시 들어가야 돼. 알겠지?
조금만 더 안쪽으로 샀으면. 네.
굿샷.
ラインは悪くない。いい感じ。ラインはいい感じ。ワンつけ。ワンつけ。十分ある。ワンつけ。十分ある。おおおお。
15.1.
7-5 is the score in Japan playing Korea in this 10th session in the men's competition. Pacific Asia Curling Championships 2018. Korea needs 2 points for the extra end, potentially 3 to win. First step is to put up a corner guard here to get the ball rolling.
Japan have placed their first one in a good spot. Want the second one in on top.
There's a few different approaches to this 10th end now that the 5-rock rule has made its way onto the WCF rules and regulations.
Yeah, you can see quite a few teams this year have been ticking the corner guard and rolling their shooter to the centre to give the centre guard.
I've also seen teams tick the corner the other way from the outside, either tick the opposition corner guard onto the centre line or even in the house. That way you could hit it on your next one. But the third approach is put a stone top 4, top button, another into the house, and then throw a guard just to leave as much nuisance on the centre line as possible.
Yeah, because if you get the 3 placed perfectly, 2 in a row in the house and 1 short, the opposition's going to have to move that.
센터 가드 나도 뭐라도 보여가지고 치고 가면 될 것 같은데.
자, 하나 더.
Now Kim Sung-hyuk. Not 100% sure what he wants to do there. It looks like the second corner guard is being called. It's probably the way to go if you want to score a 3.
Yeah, definitely the right call to get his second corner up when he's got the chance.
That's when it's nice to have a second who can throw some big weight to tidy up that centre line. Keep these level. Pretty good shot there. 2 nice corner guards. And now Team Japan, if this was last year, you'd just go up and start ripping one of the corners
これ1個開くよね。
But you can't. Just
だけど中行っちゃったら
you
次でも
really
全
get
部
sucked into playing.
サイドに開かれちゃう。
Hard to be defensive. And
どう思う？
the
はい、
card
止めら
is
れ。
called.
いいんじゃないかと思うよ。タイトで。
サイドガード。
That's just what happens.
Line はタイト気味。
ラインはいい感じ。ちょっとイエス。ラインはいいよ。
ラインはいいよ。
3まで。ライン
Because
付け。
Korea would love now to make play on these stones in the house and get the rolls behind their corners.
ガードガード。
So this guard is really important, that it blocks the way of doing that.
Well, I think they've just brought this one way too tight. Going to be a pretty easy double for Korea. Make that double on the top. Roll the shooter. I was thinking to the right, looked a little easier, but called the right to the left of our screen. Either way, just make the double and try and roll away from the center a bit. And Korea's got a really good setup.
웨이 좋아. 라인만 봐.
동영아. 동영아 계속 가야 돼.
Hanging a bit high for now. It's only going to move the one and roll out.
I needed the shooter to stay in play.
Really did. And now Japan.
Oh, he knows it.
Yeah.
Disappointed with that one.
Now you start peeling the corner. You will leave one, but I think this is probably the way to go if you don't want to give up a 3.
Yes, 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 yes.
슈터.
Nice.
Actually makes the double more or less. And although he leaves his shooter, it's now a red stone and it's a bit closer to the center line, so pretty good shot there.
영진아. 영진아.
와우, 야.
동영아.
오케이, 샷.
Just wanting that one to stop in time, but rolls a tad too far.
Yeah, just willing it to
これはいいよ。
stop. But Japan take that, then the corner guard's still in play to be used.
완파. 시까지 완파다.
Yes, yes. 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 Yes.
Just going to collect the guard. Not sure if he really needed to throw it that soft.
Because it's one of these either or shots, it's not removed the guard from play, so it's still an advantage to Korea.
I'm not sure if they were looking to hit and stick there. I think
근데 해도 어차피
you really
안쪽
have to stick
더블이라.
around. Just make sure the yellow goes. And like you said, Rona, play the softer way. When you then make contact with the guard, it's not going very far.
일단 롤은 절대 안 해요.
차라리 그냥 제자리.
Timeout called by Team Korea.
더블도 안 나오잖아요.
They're going to want to talk out this end, how they want to play it. Not just the next shot, but the rest of the end, really.
쉽게 생각하자. 스테이, 백, 그치? 어차피 더블이야. 2점만 안 주기 위해서 할 거니까. 롤. 바깥쪽 더블이야. 날아가면 다시 컴.
여기는요?
우리가 하면 우리가 하고 난데 얘가 안 나가고 안
그냥
나가잖아.
프리즈, 그냥 프리즈.
그냥 프리지? 가둬치면 어떡하려고 그래? 가둬치면. 우리 후공이야.
그래도 하나 박아놓는 게 나을 것 같은데.
지금 네 샷인데?
제 초구니까.
프리즈라.
근데 위험할 수 있어.
저 백으로 빼자고. 백으로 빼도 어차피 뒤쪽 이쪽 옆으로 더블은 나와요.
그럼 백에이트로 그냥 제자리? 그냥
아
백에이트.
그러니까 나는 이게 이렇게 롤 되고 더블
롤 되면 안 된다.
그러니까 롤 되고 더블 맞으면 다시 커먼라운드로 하려고 생각했어.
아니 그렇게 말고 그냥 거기서 붙여놓고 백 버튼 만들고 여기에서 이전 달라 그래야지. 얘는 나중에 옵션이고.
그러면 웨트 열?
지금 많이 보이고 거리 멀어서 백 버튼 백포까지 충분히 가니까 그래서 숨겨놓고 백가드 놓은 다음에 거기서 싸워서 나중에 얘는 옵션으로 가라고.
쎄서 벌어지면 별로일 것 같아.
더블이 너무 쉽게 나와가지고 나는.
바깥으로 붙은 이렇게 되면 버려둬도
그래 더블 맞아도 이렇게 맞는 거보다 거기서 맞는 게 낫다고.
백 다운까지 있죠.
TD. 근데 얘는
열하나?
열부터 시작해야 돼.
열하나? 오케이. 웨이트. 이거 괜찮을 것 같아.
Well, a call has been made.
백까지 괜찮을 것 같아. 8방 괜찮아.
Looks to be tap back on the red. Just looking at the ice.
이지 11, 12. 이거 헤비야. 클린해.
기다리자.
동영!
야! 아주 정재야. 정재야 와야 돼.
Tap it as far as they're hoping for, maybe.
Yeah, it was a great line coming in.
아 미안, 내가 웨이트 잘못 본 것 같아.
There's a double on the yellows.
Yeah, this is a big shot now for Japan.
Not sure if they're playing peel weight at this. It's just a hit and roll.
주한, 주한.
그린. 예스. 그린. 예스.
That is a very good shot by Shimizu. Rolls right on top. If anything, a few inches too far. But the thought here is they really leave very little room for Korea to score big.
There is a chance to go in there and freeze that though, the back red. Just unlucky he rolled too far there, because if he'd half checked the top one, it was a fantastic result.
마지막에 가죠. 와우.
히라이.
웨이트 봐.
노방.
네.
이거 바로 쓰면 안 돼. 오.
I might have overcooked this one. Line wasn't too bad, just overthrown, overswept. That's up in the back 8 foot. Wow. Jung Byung Chen, can't believe it. But not easy to get to any of the yellows for Japan.
They're now taking a timeout.
ちょっと赤?
Make sure they make the right call.
ならガードで良さそうだね。
Considering
俺らやる
guarding,
こと多分ガードかタップぐらいしかなさそうじゃん。
こうかい。でもこれさもうこの形になってるから。
それいじらなくても良さそうだよ。
触らなくても
そっちに飛びそうだしね。
そしたら
くらいじゃない？そうだね。
Bob Ursel
一個
has made his way down.
決定だね。
かもしれない。あんま開きすぎたらレーザーあるから。
But you want to, yeah, if you can block off the draw, even better, right? You want to, because he's going to come around, right? So I like tight right there. Yeah.
OK その後切られた場合はさ2個なくなった場合はそしたらこれ狙っても良さそうだけど出しても良さそうだけど、動いた動いたごめんそしたら2個狙っても良さそうだよとりあえず今は
切られ方に多分よるし
この辺がいいよねああそこだ
That looks to be the guard. Good called here. Bob Ursel said, don't mind that one. Just bring it tight enough so Korea rather can't come around. Because it can always come around and bump that red and sit too, if there's enough room. Tolerance might even be to come in top 12 here.
Yeah, certainly doesn't want to be too short. As you say, Korea can come in and just tap that red back.
Don't want to over curl either. Stay out there.
Yeah, higher's good.
Looks pretty good. That's
really good there.
Pretty much where they wanted that one. And now Korea. What do you do?
Yep, you have to get 2 to get an extra end. So I think he's going to have to try and open something here.
Sorry, Jace. Bit of a,
See handshakes over on sheet D. New Zealand picks up the win 10-6 on Hong Kong.
That's right. Good value for money on the curling.
Thanks, guys.
Might have been
Good
an
luck with the rest of your
entertaining
games,
game.
Good game. Well
To
played.
be almost 10 ends they played. And now it's only one game left out there. Japan, Korea. And I wonder if this is a raise on the red center guard with the controlled weight just to basically tap that yellow into shot position. Very tough shot. Needs to curl. Not going to curl enough. Still a lot of yellow in there though. But for how long? Japan try and rip it. Or will they try and guard again?
Yeah, they're looking at just raise red onto yellow. But they don't need to. If they put out a guard, how is Korea going to get in for 2 points?
I think there might be a slash run on the yellow corner guard onto the 2 stones top 4. That might drag the yellow back onto the short stone. Potentially. Depends on how much drag we have here though. Back in my club I think, yes. But those stones are a bit more battered than these Olympic stones. More friction, bigger striking bands, allow for more drag.
Yeah, I think if I was Japan, I would be happy to put up the guard and say to Korea, okay, you make your 2. This isn't curling.
Oh.
Just sprung off enough.
call is comes quite quick from Korea. Just over a minute left on the clock here. Not too much rush. Just trying to figure out exactly where to hit this one.
아, 가게 생각보다 얇아야 될 것 같은데.
많이 얇아야 돼.
I think it might be there.
슈터가 내려오면서 서야 돼.
웨이트 세야 돼.
Yep, it's the only option he has.
여기? 오케이.
Won't necessarily have to play
오케이.
all he's got here.
정지야 3분의 1까지도 괜찮을 것 같아.
Maybe just a controlled peel might be better to keep both the yellows around.
40초.
It'll be very interesting to see if he can catch this one just right. Just basically slash this one almost 45 degrees. Stick it on the redstone top 8. Last stone 10th end could be the shot of the week to keep Korea in the game. What's he got here? Sounds close. 1, 2. Look at that. That's 2 for Korea to tie the game. The shot was definitely on. And what execution from Kim So-hyuk. Absolutely wonderful. We're going to play one more. Stay in your seat, Rona. We're not going anywhere.
What a shot. So well executed.
Angled run, gets a little drag to stick it. 2 points for Korea. That is just absolutely brilliant from the Korean skip. And we'll see if it might leave Korea with a chance to win this in the extra. That would be something. Look at him. So cool. Stay for one more. Tied at 7.
얘들아, 세손 이상 와야 돼.
넷. 스카이넷.
라인 공격해.
스카이넷. 오케이, 5.
넷.
만들어줘, 만들어줘.
좀만 더 오자. 좀만 더.
굿샷.
오케이, 샷.
Extra end action here. Japan, Korea. Kim So-hyuk pulling out the good stuff. Beautiful angled run back to score 2 and tie the game at 7. Japan can't believe it. They're going to have to play one more to try and put this win in the bag. And this is a tick shot attempt from Shinja Abe, but just too much weight, catches too much of the rock. And that is basically a violation of the free guard zone, so that stone is then replaced and the shooter taken out of play as well. The guard sits there. And that's a good start for Korea. They have a guard in place. And they'll try to put up a second one. This one a bit longer, a bit higher up. Want some separation here between the center guards. Feeling well, who's next to play for Japan. Both Yasumasa Tanida and Tatsuro Shimizu able to throw the big weight and tidy things up, and it's just wonderful guard placement by Lee Dong-hyung. No, just a technical timeout, I believe. just been a timing issue. At the, they're just trying to sort out here before we continue. And both skips get a chance to.
They're both having
share
a laugh.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice to see.
Well, I think they look.
He's like, I can't believe you played that shot at the last end.
Well, calm on the outside, but there's got to be some hearts beating on the inside here.
Yeah, it's a big game for both these teams. Both these teams would like to be playing in the final come the weekend.
Yeah.
They want to get to the World Championships. It means a lot to both of these countries.
You could expect both these teams to be in the playoffs, so to have the head-to-head win on their opponent in this game could prove very valuable. Only a single round robin. We have seen double round robins before in the Pacifics, but just a single this week as we see the comparisons for the leads. Shinja Abe and Lee Dong-hyung. Pretty steady numbers. We've had a couple of corner guards slip into the rings each, but apart from that, been pretty spot on, and Dong-hyung has shown that on this extra end with two perfectly placed center guards. And now whatever issue there was has been sorted. Shinja Abe gets to throw this draw. Always a little bit tricky to do when there's a stop in the game.
Yeah, when you get into an extra end, you don't want that stop and play. Just takes the focus off. So a great opportunity now for Korea to come right in and sit on the button. They only need to steal one, Japan only need to score one. So it's whoever gets in there early on in the end takes control.
And that stone from Abe slipped to the back four. Setting up this end really well for Korea. Two center guards. A little bit of backing now to draw onto. Trying to get this maybe top button.
Is it going to sit down in time? Oh, it's not.
Not quite able to take advantage here, Korea, but they do nice shot.
So now Japan need to get there.
Tempting to come in there before Korea. Also very tempting to rip those center guards.
They know if they only take the top guard and don't get the double rip, Korea's going to weld one right in there.
Yeah, and then they're chasing. But they will go for the peel. See if they'll just peel the top one here or go for the double. Quite tough double to make. Seeming very content with just taking off the top one. See if Korea will choose to replace that guard or come in here.
That's a difficulty, isn't it? You would automatically call the guard, but it's tempting to control the top of the forefoot.
Bit of a cat and mouse game here. Who makes the first move to cover the pin?
I think Korea have to up the guard. It's still early in the end.
I have the feeling if Japan peeled once, they'll peel again. Of course, if Japan wants to draw and they ever make a mistake and leave two guards up there early in the end, it can get a bit messy.
라인 좋아, 라인 좋아. 웨이트만 하나.
붙지마. 멀리서 해야 돼.
샷.
Perfect guard again.
He's always so encouraging to his team, isn't he? His sweepers and his thrower.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Maybe looking for both of them here. Oh, so close.
Oh,
But that's the danger.
that could potentially block an intern shot.
Yeah, that's really in the way of the intern draw to the button for both teams, really. But mostly for Japan, who's looking to score a single here. Timeout. Both teams do get an extra timeout in the extra end.
자, 1번이긴 해.
Japan have left it there in case he needs to raise it, like Korea did it the last time.
That would be something.
근데 이거 어차피 1번 되면 1번
근데
되면
내가 봤을
쟤네도
때 쟤네
무조건
지금 첫
넘게.
번째 샷이라 우리 가드 한다고 안 들어올 것 같은데. 그리고 들어와도
근데 이게 만약에 상대가 들어온다고 해도 이게
Lee Yeho will
딱
have to
1번이
take
된다는 보장이
the
없어.
long way
근데
to the
살짝만
away end
틀어줘도
for this timeout.
지금 먼저 들어온 사람이 이기고.
우리가
상대가
잘
자리가
들어오면 제가 우리가 들어오면 열어. 가드 쳐 열어. 지금 언젠가는 돌려서 치거나 밀줄 거 아니야.
근데 딱 붙여놓으면은 바우스들이 완전 찬스입니다.
1번이라서 지금 이쪽으로 보이지?
네.
확실하게 붙어.
지금 들어갈지.
그래서 가드를 하나 더 치면 상대가 먼저 들어올 수도 있어요. 그래서
딱
안
붙으면
된다는
먹으면 피님
스킵샷이나 두 번째 샷까지.
어차피 너 마지막 샷으로 끝내야 되는 거잖아. 그러면 가드 하나 놓고 얘가 오픈하면 너 두 번째 또 놓고 들어오면 들어와. 들어가면
먼저 갔다
근데
먼저 들어가야
여기
돼.
와버리면 이렇게 해결을 할 수가 없어.
왜 해결할 수 없어? 그게 딱 붙어도 해결할 수 있지.
야, 붙으면 핀이에요. 자, 그래서 지금 애매한 게 하나 더 가고 병질 두 번째에서
그때 들어가. 그래서 밀어내기 시작하면 돼.
바로 들어와주면 좋긴 한데.
하나 더 하고 그 다음에 재미가 오픈하면은 그 다음에 들어가 치카리.
평지 두 번째.
근데
두
내가
번째
봤을 때
앞에서?
내가 봤을 때 들어오진 않을 것 같아.
자, 일단 열 거야.
네.
두 번째.
초구는 빠르긴
두 번째까지 가고.
오케이.
하나?
오케이. 아웃? 인터? 상관없어요.
아웃홀이 나.
Japan rolls out there. I think Korea probably throws another guard, but because it's choking that intern draw, if they throw another guard now, Japan might think, well,
이준아 멀리.
there's only one way in.
And we
Let's
better
take
get
it.
it
We
there
better
first.
get there first. So we'll see here what the call is. Do you want to come in first or throw the guard?
웨이트
둘,
봐.
셋!
어?
둘!
하나.
넘기면
It's nice to be the guard.
아니 조금 타이트해.
타이트.
라인 신경 쓰지 마. 멀리 쓰는 게 더 중요해.
그럼 가면 안 돼.
라인 괜찮아.
많이 가진 않아. 오케이. 샷.
Nice shot there. Well, Japan
중요하다.
still peeling.
하나만 하자.
For now, there is a port on the intern to play a controlled weight shot. The yellow on the button. Runs a pass just once more.
주반 좋을 것 같아. 주반. 그거 아웃 보내는지 말해줘.
So the draw might not be in there on the intern, but you can certainly throw a bit more weight through and bump the yellow.
됐다. 확실히 잘 가.
얘들아 침착해.
근데 이거 확실히 잘 가.
라이온 가.
열.
네, 열어놔.
혜미 열어놔.
누르면.
열.
런.
열어놔.
제발 기다려줘.
So Korea choosing to come in now.
기다려줘.
아예 마지막.
Third's last stone.
동현아. 동현 계속 와. 동현 계속 와야 돼.
Great shot.
샷.
Real nice draw. Wow.
So now Japan in a bit of trouble. So important that this raise moves things about in the head. If it just clears the guard, It's going to be very difficult for Japan to get into this button.
Well, in the 8th end, Shimizu missed 2 run backs. He ended up stealing one. Needs to help out his skipper here. Needs to make contact, shuffle things around. Look at this shot. Really good. Leaves 2 yellows in the house, but that is definitely improving it. Opens up that button. I'm not sure if he could have done much more.
No, he couldn't. He's opened things up, as you say, and taking them away from the button. You know, it's different biting the forefoot, but they were controlling the whole button there.
Now the intern is a problem though for Japan. There's no backing to draw onto, so it's really only the
They've got a
outturn
red
side.
though at the top. If they come round it, they could raise the red straight back.
그럼 만약 여기 있으면은 맞고 올라가면 다시 들어오면 되는데 여기 와서 더블 맞으면 들어올 수가 없어요.
여기 괜찮을 것 같아. 어차피 열 거야, 당연히. 열고 난 뒤에 마지막 테이크나 드로우를 줘야 돼.
난 여기 그냥. 그래서 더블 치고 올라가면 그때 하나 더.
백까지 같이 그럼?
네, 여기만.
야, 플레이는 위에까지 괜찮을 것 같아.
네, 1번, 2번.
지금 동영이 샷이 좀 아까 뚫리니까. 일단 T까지 가야 될 것 같아.
To skip rocks now. So Kim So-hyuk his way back to the hack for his first throw of the extra end, but we will take a look back at how we got there. Wonderful angled run back to score 2, tie the game. That would be even sweeter to look back on if they can actually pull a win from this. Firstly, it's a draw. Just half tuck around the centre guard here, top 12. Trying to stagger everything. Big sweep.
Working this really hard to get it past. Just nicked off it.
Ended up in a horrible spot, but definitely possible for Japan now to remove a few yellows.
He's like, oh, I can't believe it.
94 on draws, 81% on hits for both skips there. No wonder we're playing an extra end.
Absolutely.
Timeout for Japan. First thought is play the double on the 2 top yellows, but you will leave a free draw around the center guard. If you're unlucky, you might leave the shooter staggered.
多分ダブルしながらじゃない。
Yeah, doesn't want to leave anything for Korea to draw around.
Don't see much else though. Could make the double on the high side, try and roll away.
He's looking at just drawing round.
There's not much room. He might pop out the open side. We'll see what Bob Ursel says.
Into this, onto that. You can get both those. But make sure you hit this one. Right? Rip it into there. If you get lucky, that opens it up, right? And then you're going to have a shot for the win, for sure. If we go in, we still have this covered up, right? So I like ripping this in.
あれ打ってこっちに
You can rip.
行けば。
You can rip that
使え
one.
てただけ。
Great. Yeah.
上に行ってね。
One of these is
そ
good.
れは一番いい。
But if you can get that one or the top of that one, but if you can play it onto that one, Shinya, great. Either one, we're in much better shape.
だいぶ楽だ。とりあえずあれは1個絶対当ててた。こっちのこっち側と。いけるね。
Well, Bob Ursel has a different call in mind here. They're looking to run off the center guard, slash it into the yellows. Make it real good, it's good.
들어가기는 좀 쉬운.
Could be unlucky here though, too though. Should open it up a little bit.
It's definitely a higher degree of difficulty with this shot.
Should be able to make contact with that first yellow somehow, but if you ever dead jam it and leave that red guarding the shot stone and Korea throws a guard on you, then it's pretty tough to make the draw for the win. Looks close. Red onto yellow. Well, it's kind of what I was hinting at. Leaves the red guarding 2 yellows now, actually. And if Korea now throws a guard of some kind, not a lot of places to go for the win.
No, because even the way that the yellows are placed, to raise the red onto that yellow now is not going to get you shot. You'd have to lift both yellows.
방금 라인들.
In hindsight, could have maybe even swept that one to move that red top 12 further out. Hard to gauge though, those angles.
Either way, Japan are going to be left with a very difficult shot for the win.
센터 조금 더 가면 좋아. 넘어가는 게.
Top 12, I think they were discussing here. Kim So-hyuk. Top 8 should be okay. Just can't be too deep with it. It's down to the sweepers now, but this one's starting to pull a bit. How far can they bring it? How's the line here? Maybe just over curled. Definitely over curled.
Yeah, his weight was perfect.
Split the center line there. It's a very tough port to draw through, but there's definitely enough room.
Yep, the door is open.
Yuta Matsumura thought he'd won it after 10. Great shot by Kim So-hyuk. Pushed this game into the extra. Now he's having to make a cool draw to the forefoot for the win. Lots of time on the clock.
Yep, that's all the skip wants, the forefoot to draw, the last stone.
You know the path, you know the ice. Ask your sweepers. Is the weight the same?
And you hope they say yes.
Last stone in this extra end. Tied at 7. Matsumura for the win. Hanging out there. There's a red stone, top 12. It needs to pass, needs to break, and it needs to break soon. Tanida and Shimizu keeping off it. Is it going to curl enough? It will make it through, but will it make it far enough? It will. Wow. I thought that was all over the top stone. Just got there in time. Matsumura makes it for the win. What drama. What a game. But a final score of 8-7 and a win for Japan. Great stuff from both teams this afternoon in the Gangneung Curling Center. Kim So-hyuk, can't believe it. Made that incredible shot. So close to capitalizing on it as well. Just overcurled his last one. Left enough room for Matsumura. Eighth end. Matsumura with the big weight, trying to run these yellows off. Close to doing so, but it's a steal of 1 for Korea. Heading into the 9th end. Shinya Abe putting the broom down for Matsumura. Again, the big weight looking for the double, made perfect. 2 points on the board for Japan. Korea in trouble, needing 2 for the extra end. Kim So-hyuk comes up with the goods, angled run back to score 2. 1 for the highlight reel for sure. And had something good going in the extra end as well, but Japan pulls it off in the end with a draw to the forefoot. So Japan wins it. 8-7 final score it was. As we take a look around the Gangneung Curling Center, it was Chinese Taipei to beat Australia 10-3. China picking up the win 13-1 on Qatar, while New Zealand edged out Hong Kong 10-6. China qualified at 6 wins, no losses. Japan, New Zealand and Korea follow at 4 wins. Hong Kong, Chinese Taipei sitting at 2-3. Australia and Kazakhstan at 1-4. Qatar at 0-6. We have an interview with the winning side.
Okay, many congratulations. What a game. How do you feel right now?
すごい試合だったと思うけど、どんな気持ちですか？
セミファイナルに向けてすごく重要な試合だったので、まず勝つことができてよかったです。
That was a very important game to us for the semi-final, so we are glad to win that game.
What were you thinking before you played that last stone?
最後の一投投げる前どんなこと考えてました？い
やもう決めるだけ。
He knew he's gonna make it.
Well, many congratulations. Well done.
A confident Matsumura picks up another win, closing in on the playoff stages here in Gangneung. Stay tuned for more curling action.